And recently, I heard from the news that the status of the virus been changed from an epidemic to a pandemic. And some of our viewers or some of the people back home in Africa might be wondering, what is the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic? So can you throw more light to that?
So a disease is considered epidemic.
Yeah.
When there is a rapid spread of the disease in the community at a particular time. And pandemic is when the epidemic spread through the world. So an example is the COVID-19. China had the COVID-19, Korea had it, Singapore had it, Thailand had it. So it was considered epidemic within that area.
Okay.
Right. So when the epidemic spread through the world, when it got to Europe, it got to America, it got to North America, Africa, now it was considered pandemic.
That's really insightful. But my next question is, does the name change has anything to do with the way the virus will affect us? Like it has been changed from an epidemic to a pandemic. Okay, does it mean that more people are going to have it, or does it mean that it's going to like slow down?
That means more people are exposed to it, and it's quite dangerous. When a disease is called pandemic, that means it can kill very fast.
Yeah.
So now the preventive measures become more serious than the epidemic.
Okay.
So now you can find out how the preventive measures are now.
And so what about the preventive measures? Would they change or would they still be the same?
Yeah, it will change. But when it was considered epidemic within China and the Korea, I say within Asia, we found out that it was just some washing of hands and some face masks. But when it was considered pandemic, now there was quarantine. People are even told to stay home. Institutions have been closed. Talking about sports, all the football clubs have been told not to stop. Yeah, basketball, stop. Now people are even told to avoid handshakes. Now you have to pick a blow or use your elbow. You know, that is how serious the situation is now.
Yeah. Wow. And I also heard that some schools have been, like in Thailand, some schools have been forced to close down because of this coronavirus thing.
Yes, not only in Thailand, even in Ghana, they've been told to close. Churches and for every public gathering have been told to close.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about Ghana. How is the situation in Ghana?
Yeah, we have 6 cases.
Wow.
So the president came to address the public, saying that all public gatherings must stop for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it means for 4 weeks, there wouldn't be any public gathering until further notice.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
And these people who are infected, how are they recovering?
Yeah, they've been quarantined, so they are taking care of them. I think they are getting better.
So, so before we go, like, I would like you to demonstrate to us how to really protect ourselves, because sometimes people say put on face masks or stay away from crowds or wash your hands. But some of us might not really understand how to effectively use the face mask. Yeah. So with me here is a face mask that I would love you to demonstrate to our audiences how they can effectively use this face mask.
Okay, so this face mask is basically used to cover the nose and the mouth. Right, there is a white inner aspect. So when you take out the face mask, you just pull it out. When you pull it out, you don't touch the inner, the white inner aspect of it. So you hold the handles this way. The main focus should be on your nose and your mouth. So you cover it up. Then when you put it on, you don't touch the surface. So when you go out and you are coming back home, you just dispose it off by holding the handle. Then you dispose it off. When you dispose it off, you don't touch your nose and you don't touch your mouth or your eye. You go straight to the tap Then you get a soap on your hand and wash your hand for about 15 seconds. If possible, after washing your hands, you can get to the bathroom and have a shower. Then a nose mask should be used just a day. You can't use it for 2 days. So you don't put it on a table, and when you are going out again, you put it on. Yeah, you can contract the virus when you do that. So basically, that is how the face mask can be used.
Oh, okay. And then always wash your hands, right?
Yeah, always wash your hands after using them when you come home, about 15 seconds with soap, not just running water, but with soap.
Okay. And this our last question before we go. From your own observation, how long do you think that we will have to keep on dealing with this virus?
Yeah, as I said, there is a great deal of uncertainty about this virus, which makes it more concerning. Yeah. So that means we don't know when and how. So we have to keep the preventive measures serious, day in, day out, until the Fox News made a comment today that they've got a vaccine, which they are going to introduce it. So let's see what happens when it is introduced.
Okay, so that's all for today, and thanks for sharing with us. And like always, we are happy to have you in our studio.
Okay, you're much welcome.
Thank you.